In today's class, we'll discuss about the process of excretion in living organism. Before we start, what is excretion? What do we mean by excretion? Now, excretion is the biological process through which the removal of waste products that are formed in the body due to its metabolic activities are removed is termed as excretion. In case of unicellular organism, the removal of metabolic waste occurs by simple diffusion method from the body surface into the surrounding water. But in complex multicellular organism, specialized organs are there which functions together to remove the nitrogenous waste generated by the body during its metabolic activities. Now, the major nitrogenous waste that are formed includes ammonia, urea, uric acid, amines, etc. These wastes are formed during protein metabolism. Among these waste products, ammonia is highly toxic. Similarly, urea and uric acid are also harmful for the bodies, so they need to be removed. Now, when I told that we'll discuss about the excretion in living organism, that includes plants and animals. Now, what are the waste products formed in plants? The waste products that are formed in plants are carbon dioxide, excess of water, resins, tannins, gums, oxygen, etc. In case of human being, the waste products are carbon dioxide, ammonia, which changes into urea in liver. Among the fluids, waste products, already I told that it contains ammonia, salts, urea and uric acids. And solid waste that are formed includes undigested components of food. Now next we'll discuss about the details, structure and function of renal axillary system of human beings. In your book it is mentioned here, excretion in human beings. Now, renal axillary system of human beings consists of kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. Let us see what are kidneys. Now, in our body or in human beings, a pair of kidneys are present, or you can say that there are two kidneys in human being. They are bean shaped, reddish brown color, about 10 centimeter long in structure, and these are situated in the abdominal cavity, one on the either side of the vertebral column. Now, each kidney weighs about 150 grams. The inner surface is concave and a depression is there. That depression is called ileus, through which renal arteries enters and renal vein leaves the kidney. So this goes about the structure of kidney. Now let us see what is the internal structure of kidneys and their functions. Inside the kidney, the renal artery branches up into millions of capillaries, each of which is repeatedly divided and coiled. And these structures are called as glomeruli. Glomeruli. Now, glomerulus is enclosed in a cup-shaped structure which is known as Bowman's capsule. The circulatory system has nutrients as well as waste material. The arterial entering into Bowman's capsule has larger diameter, while arterial coming out has a smaller diameter. So, pressure inside the glomerulus is increased and useful as well as waste. All are filtered off. Now, the tubular part of the nephron consists of proximal convoluted tubule, a U-shaped loop of Henle, and a distal convoluted, again I am repeating, tubular part of the nephron consists of proximal convoluted tubule, which is a U-shaped loop of Henle, and a distal convoluted. Now, as the filtrate passes down the proximal tubule, much of the salts and all of glucose are reabsorbed and brought back to the blood. The filtrate which passes beyond the distal tubule is called urine, and that is sent to urinary bladder for disposal. So that is the process of urine formation. Later in explanation, once again I will explain how urine formation takes place. Now I will discuss about the structure of nephron. To understand it better, you take a diagram of nephron, then it will be easier for you to understand in better way. Look at the diagram and I am explaining here. Now first of all, what is nephron? Nephron is the functional unit of kidney. Each kidney contains about 1 million nephrons, and each nephron consists of the following structure. First of all, number 1, it contains Malfidient corpuscle, which comprises of the following. Now whatever I'll explain, these are the parts of Malfidient corpuscle. First part, already I told you, you know this one, that is Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule is a funnel or cup-shaped structure which receives the glomerular capillaries. Then second part of Malfidient corpuscles is glomerulus. Glomerulus, glomerulus. Now it is a tuft. It is a tuft of blood capillaries. That is primary network of capillaries in the Bowman's capsule formed by the incoming, that is efferent arteriole, and the outgoing, that is efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole, AFFERENT, efferent arteriole, and outgoing, that is efferent arteriole, that is EFFERENT, efferent arteriole. Okay, now these are the parts of Malfidient corpuscle. Next part of nephron is renal tubule. The renal tubule consists of three parts. These are proximal tubular part comprising of a convoluted part, that is coiled one. See in the diagram, coiled one, and a thick straight descending part of Henle's loop, which is permeable to water. Remember, Henle's loop is permeable to water. Now what is permeable? It allows water to pass through. Look at the diagram, you will find there Henle's loops are there. Okay, ascending limb, descending limbs, all these are level diagram is there. Now next part of renal tubule is the U-shaped loop of Henle, Henle, Henle. Third part of renal tubule is the distal tubular part comprising of thick straight ascending limb of Henle's loop, which is impermeable. Descending one, descending of Henle's loop, okay, that was permeable. Now this is impermeable to water and a convoluted part. So this goes about the second part of nephron. Now third part of the nephron, it contains collecting tubule. Now the distal convoluted tubule open into the collecting tubules. Collecting tubules unite to make common ducts that pass through the medulla, reach the renal papillae, and enter the renal pelvis. Pelvis is an expanded region which opens into the ureter. So this goes about the detailed structure of nephron. Next part that I will discuss now, that is how is urine formed. Very important question, how is urine formed, and also explain the structure of nephron. This is also Very important. So read these two very carefully. Now we'll discuss how is urine formed. Formation of urine. Now, when the blood reaches from renal artery to the efferent arterioles of glomerulus, okay, when the blood reaches from renal artery to the efferent arterioles of glomerulus, the excretory waste along with WBCs and thrombocytes along with plasma and water are filtered into the Bowman's capsule. Clear? Only RBCs pass into the efferent arterioles. In Bowman's capsule, the heavy solid excretory waste settle down. Okay, in Bowman's capsule what happens? The heavy solid excretory waste settle down and the plasma along with water is reabsorbed by efferent arterioles. The settled excretory matter is diffused into the uriniferous tubules. The settled excretory matter is diffused inside the uriniferous tubules. The blood containing excess amount of water travels in the network of blood capillaries and come in contact with the uriniferous tubules. The extra amount of water is diffused into the uriniferous tubules where the solid excretory waste is already present. Clear? Where these solid excretory wastes are already present. Thus, all the excretory wastes are dissolved in the water to form a solution which is called as urine. Clear? Now, the color of the urine depends upon the quantity of excretory matter dissolved in it. The color of the urine depends upon the quantity of the excretory matter dissolved in it. The urine from uriniferous tubule reaches into the ureter, through which it reaches into the urinary bladder. When the urinary bladder is filled, urine is passed out from the body through urethra. So this is how urine formation takes place inside our body. Now again, in short or in much easier way, I'll explain how the urine formation takes place. You can write answer from anyone, no problem. Now in another way you can say the dirty blood containing waste like urea, which is brought by renal artery, enters the glomerulus. The glomerulus filters this blood, and during filtration the substances like glucose, amino acids, salts, water and urea, etc. present in the blood pass into Bowman's capsule and then enter the tubule of nephron. When the filtrate containing useful substances as well as the waste substances passes through the tubule, then the useful substances like all glucose, all amino acids, most salts and most water, etc. are reabsorbed into the blood through blood capillaries surrounding the tubule. That is what termed as tubular reabsorption. Now, only the waste substances like urea, some unwanted salts and excess water remains behind in the tubule. This liquid left behind the tubule of nephron is urine. The nephron carries this urine into the collecting duct of the kidney, from where it is carried to ureter. From the ureter, urine passes into urinary bladder. Now, in urinary bladder, urine is stored for some time and ultimately passes out of the body through urethra. The amount of urine produced is regulated depending upon how much excess water is present in the body and how much dissolved waste is there to be excreted. That is why you will notice if you drink plenty of water, frequently you will get the tendency of urination. Okay, so that is why the amount of urine produced in our body, it is regulated depending upon how much excess water is present. Body will take the requisite amount of water that are required for metabolic activities, and excess amount of water it will come out through urine or as a sweat also. And also it depends upon the how much dissolved waste is there, which needs to be excreted from the body. Next point that we will discuss now, I will explain to you, that is artificial kidney or hemodialysis. Simply we know this one is a dialysis process. Now let us see what is dialysis. We know kidney is a very important organ which is essential for elimination of various toxic, nitrogenous and other metabolic waste products. Now what happens, sometimes the kidneys of a person may stop working due to infection, injury or restricted blood flow, etc. This leads to the accumulation of poisonous nitrogenous waste like urea and all in the body, which can even lead to or which can even cause death also. The persons having kidney failure are put on dialysis. The blood of a person having kidney failure can be cleaned regularly by using a dialysis machine, which we can say kidney machine or artificial kidney. Now, the principle of working of a dialysis machine is like this. The blood from an artery in a patient's arm is made to flow into the dialyzer of a dialysis machine made of long tubes of selectively permeable membrane like cellulose. Selectively permeable membrane, the membrane that passes selectively various particles. Now, which are coiled, okay, these long tubes of selectively permeable membrane, which are coiled in a tank containing dialysing solution. You can see the picture. Okay. Now, the dialysing solution contains water, glucose and salts in similar concentration to those in normal blood. In a normal blood, whatever amount of water, glucose and salts, whatever concentrations or whatever proportion of concentration are there in blood, same medium is prepared artificially here. Now, as the patient's blood passes through the dialysing solution, most of the waste like urea present in it pass through the selectively permeable cellulose tubes into the dialysing solution. The clean blood is pumped back into a vein of the patient's arm. So this is the simple way of hemodialysis, the principle, working and meaning of hemodialysis, or you can simply say dialysis. Now last point of this chapter, that is excretion in plants. Now, elimination of waste products is a basic property of all the living organisms. All the living organisms, they perform excretion, or simply you can say elimination of waste products from their body. Now, elimination of waste products is completely different in case of plants. Like higher animals, plants, they don't have any kind of special axillary organs. Okay. Now, carbon dioxide, the product of respiration, is used in photosynthesis to excrete the other products. Some methods are like resins, latex and gums are excluded from the lenticels and other parts of the body. In some deciduous plants, some waste products are given out when leaves fall. In some plants, tannin is deposited in the trunk and it appears dark. In some plants, crystals of waste or metabolic end products are set aside in different parts of the plant body. For example, crystals of calcium carbonate in the leaf of fig, crystals of calcium oxalate in the leaf of colocasia. Now, the oxygen that are produced as waste product of photosynthesis is used for respiration, and excess is eliminated by diffusion to the nature. Similarly, carbon dioxide, which is produced during respiration, it is also used during photosynthesis in presence of sunlight. But at night time, it just diffuses into the surrounding. Which one diffuses? Carbon dioxide. It can be, again, that is summarized here, the excess water from plant body is removed. And what is that process known as? We have done in last chapter, that is transpiration. Some waste products can be stored within dead permanent tissues such as hardwood and barks of tree. Some waste products may be stored in some plants like leaves, seeds and flowers that fall off. Again, some waste products, already I have discussed this point, that some waste products like these are stored as resins and gums in special types of tissues. For example, resin ducts in old xylem of pine tree store resins. I think you must have seen such thing in pine trees here. Now, next is plants also excrete waste substances into soil. So this is all about excretion in plants, and also this is the end of the chapter excretion. With this we have completed the first chapter, that is chapter 1. Next chapter I will do chapter 2, that is control and coordination. But before that, all of you go through this explanation. Of course, you sit with your textbook along with you and the required diagrams, then you can understand better. Thank you. Bye bye.